What's going on, everyone? Fearless Football Forecast here. And today we are going to be giving you our 10 most excited games for the 2023 NFL season. Now, these range from week 1 all the way to week 18. We got a lot to cover on this episode, so stay tuned and make sure to comment below the games that you're most excited for. Now, our first game is actually coming up very soon. It takes place in week 1. I know Justin's been wanting to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this game. I actually think week one has a really good slate, but the game that I want to talk about specifically is the Monday Night Football game, Bills at the Jets. The main reason I'm excited about this is because while I think both teams are going to be good this year, I'm really high on the Jets this year. I think that they're going to win the division, and I don't know, like they're not going to blow the Bills out or anything like that, but I think they're going to have like a 10-point win and show the rest of the league like, hey, it's not just off-season buzz. We're a legit team.
I mean, I could see that happening. It's going to be hard if Brees Hall's not there, but that should be a hell of a game, and that's prime time as well. So that'll
Monday
definitely
night.
be really intriguing. My next game is September 17th. It's a 1 o'clock game. We got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The main reason I'm excited for this game is just because their battle in the playoffs last year was so great. And some of that had to do with Mahomes getting injured, some of the reason why it was a little bit closer. But to that Jacksonville team, they really will want revenge in this game. They view themselves as a hot team, up and coming team. And I think if they can knock off the Chiefs here, it'll show that they just didn't have a flash in the pan run last season and that they are a true contender. This is a great situation here for the Jags because if they lose, they lost to the Chiefs. But if they win, it's that early enough in the season where it can just propel them forward with momentum. I'm also personally going to this game, and I've never seen Patrick Mahomes play in real life. So I'm really looking forward to it for that reason as well.
Yeah, that's hype. All right, so the next one is going to be at the end of October. It comes in week 7. This is actually the Sunday night football game, and it's going to be Dolphins in Philly for my home team. And I'm really excited about this game because I think that as long as Tua stays healthy, obviously, cross our fingers for the NFL. I think that it'll be a much more fun league if Tua is healthy this year. Um, but I think that the Dolphins will be able to score against the Eagles, even though it's going to be in Philly. And I see it being a really, really high scoring game. Just a lot of points being scored up and down the field, big plays. So I'm really just excited to see these two amazing offenses just battle it out.
And my next game is November 16th. We got an interdivisional matchup here between the Bengals and the Ravens. The reason why I picked this game instead of because as of now, we don't know the status of Joe Burrow's health, so he might end up missing that first game. The Ravens and Bengals are the top two in this division, and this game itself could decide the division. It's not too late in the season where it's really the deciding factor, but it's definitely going to, showcase who has more momentum. Personally, I think that Lamar Jackson is going to have an MVP level season this year. So a win here at home would be huge for the Ravens. If not, the Bengals could kind of stiff arm any chances that the Ravens have of winning that division. Plus, a primetime game with two of the best teams in the NFL. Even if this is a low-scoring game, it's going to be a great defensive battle. I'm really looking forward to just seeing these two offenses go against each other as well.
All right, and next, another Monday Night Football game. This is Eagles in Kansas City for a Super Bowl rematch. I'm really excited about this game because, one, these are two of my favorite teams, and two, these are two of the teams that I expect to be towards the top of the league this year again. And, I think a little bit of it plays into me where, one, we saw the Super Bowl last year. It was one of the best games of the season, at least I thought. It was a great Super Bowl. Very fun, and I think it's going to be just like that again, just two offenses. Pat Mahomes, he's undeniable. And I think that the Eagles offense or the entire team is going to want to come in there and kind of say, hey, we lost to the Super Bowl last year. And I think, listen, it's the NFL. Every player plays every game hard, but I think there are those little games where they get that little extra push. And I could see that being one for the Eagles in this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a game. And, before we get on to the next game, I just want to say it's a crazy strategy that a lot of these have been Monday night games, and it just shows that the league is trying to emphasize that because Monday Night Football used to be such a huge part to the NFL, and it's kind of taken a back seat in the last decade. So it's good to see that now they're looking to try and reinvigorate that brand.
Yeah.
My next game, another 1 o'clock game. It's the Detroit Lions versus the New Orleans Saints. And I know a lot of you out there are probably wondering why the hell I picked this random game. They're not in the same division. But the reason is I think they're two of the higher rising teams in the NFC. And this could possibly be for a wild card spot at this position or just to see who's going to be the number 2 or 3 seed in the conference as a whole, because I expect great things from the Lions offense and a lot of great things from the Saints defense. So I think this is just going to be one of those really close, really good games where it might be like a 23-20, or if we're going to get a little bit higher, like a 32-28 type scenario. But overall, I'm just excited to see where the Lions are at that point in the year. Is Goff still producing? And I want to see, is Derek Carr truly the answer for the Saints? And I think by December, we'll have both of those questions figured out, and this should be a great battle. And next up is the first one where we've actually gone 2 back-to-back. It is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles, December 10th. It's always exciting to see them when they play the first time, but the second time is always better because that's when the coaching adjustments, that's when the players get really hot. And it always seems like the Cowboys and Eagles split every single year. We're going to see how that unfolds this year as well. This one is in Dallas. I'm really looking forward to this game. Another primetime game. Anytime you get these two teams squaring off, by this point in the season, both teams might have around 9 or 10 wins. So this could end up being the game that decides one of the best divisions in the NFL. So I just think a game that is basically a playoff game at that point of the season is one to be really excited about.
Yeah, Eagles-Cowboys games are always great, especially prime time. The next game I'd like to talk about is going to be a Thursday night football game at the end of December. The Jets going into Cleveland. And really the main reason that I did this is I'm high on both the Jets and the Browns. I think they're both going to be really good this year. I think they're both going to win the division this year. And honestly, I think that this game has so many different, like it could either be a low scoring defensive game, or it could be offenses are both clicking, high scoring game. So I think either way, it's going to be a close game. But also, I think that this could potentially decide a lot playoffs wise. You know, week 17, end of the year coming up. You never know if one of these guys is fighting for the number 1 seed or even just to win their division. So I think that this game is going to be really impactful for the entire AFC.
And my next game, this is December 31st. So the New Year's Eve game, we got the Bengals taking on the Chiefs. What more do I have to say? 2 of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. Every single one of their games has been amazing and it has come down to the wire. And this game, just like you just mentioned about those 2 teams, if Vegas is right and these 2 teams are the Super Bowl favorites, this game can really be the game that decides the number 1 overall seed in the AFC. But the way I see it too is because of how good I think that the Chargers and the Ravens are going to be. This might end up being a game where 2 teams that were favored in the Super Bowl are maybe trying to get that 5th playoff spot. And bear with me, I'm sick. So where they're trying to get that wild card spot and the best wild card spot possible. And this could be basically a playoff scenario between these 2 teams. Either way, even if both of these teams are already at the top of their division, they have a lot to prove. And, the momentum that they can gain going into the playoffs from this game can make it or break it when they do actually face off if it's in the conference championship again. And, with these teams, you're going to get over 30 points from both of them. So it's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah, and that's become like the biggest rivalry that's not in division over these past couple years. And then the last game that we're going to talk about today is the Kansas City Chiefs going into Los Angeles to play the Chargers, Week 18. The time is to be determined. And I honestly think that this is going to end up being a primetime game, like the Sunday night game, in my opinion. The reason I'm so excited, they obviously play twice in the year. The reason I'm so excited is because I really do think that this game is going to, for sure, decide the division. I think whoever wins this game is going to end up being the one who wins the division. Um, and honestly, I could see a scenario where they're both really, really good teams, and whoever wins this game, at least potentially one of them could win a bye week in a scenario, something like that. Because I do think that these are two of the better teams in the AFC this year. And this is another one of those games where every game that these two teams have played the past like 2-3 years has been decided by like 7 or less. So it's going to be a nice nitty-gritty game. I'm really, really excited. I think it's going to have huge impacts for it, not just the division, but maybe that number one seed.
Yeah, I agree completely. I would have put this as my game as well. We're both really excited for the Chargers this year. We think it's going to be an epic rivalry. And of course, just like I said with the Cowboys and Eagles, this could decide the division. And the second game is always going to be better than the first one because sometimes someone might get lucky in that first game. But hope you all enjoy this video and you're excited for these games as much as we are. We cannot wait. It seems like the season is now around the corner. Only a few more weeks, so we're really excited, and we'll see you all here game 1, week 1. Make sure to like the video and subscribe for more. Peace.